everybody. Welcome to another episode of Embracing Wisdom with Stacie. That's me. Let's talk today. We're going to cover a lot of things today. A lot of things that have just been part of just what I'm aware of, and especially in this emerging time of March. And if you listened to my podcast previously, we talked about how March is such a pivotal time in nature. And for me personally, if I look back at my last 25 years, March has been a time where I've made big decisions, I've executed big plans, and I've had a lot of success. And I remember there was a March, probably, 24, 25 years ago, 25 years ago, that I had been living as a very toxic, heavy woman for at least a decade of my life. And when I say heavy, I don't mean just physically heavy. Yes, I was pushing well over 200 pounds, but I was also energetically and emotionally heavy. I had a ton of anger, a ton of resentment, a ton of negativity. I was just, I marvel at the woman that I was. And I have conversations with her from time to time, not in a way of shaming, but in a way of gratitude that I had to be that person for a while to emerge out and never look back and never go back to that. And certainly there has been two times in my life where since that time I had to really push myself back away from that way of being to the current state. And so physically, I remember waking up that March, early in March. It was still cold, but spring was evident. There was changes happening. And I just woke up and said, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I'm done being fat. I'm done being angry. I'm done being toxic. I'm done being negative. And I embarked on the greatest awakening that I could ever have imagined. My life completely changed as I let go of a lot of heavy, deep emotions. I shed pounds. Like people ask me all the time, how did you lose weight? As if there's one way. Of course, I started to watch my food and I started to exercise, but it was because I started to love myself. I wanted to be the best version of myself. I didn't wake up and say, okay, I'm going to lose 80 pounds or I'm going to, become vegetarian, which I'm not. I was for a while, which I'm not. I'm going to, run a marathon, which I never have. But I didn't have a goal. I just basically said, I'm done. I'm done being heavy. I'm done being toxic. And I started to really heal my heart. So when somebody, asks me, how did you lose all the weight? How did you become healthy? The first thing I say is I accepted a lot of things in my life that I had no control over. And I had acceptance and a forgiveness, and I let go of anger. I really worked on the inside. And as a result, the outside began to get healthy. Now, twice in my life, I have had major stress since that moment of losing all the weight and becoming healthy and having a great mindset and finding my purpose and stepping into this amazing career of adaptive yoga. Twice in my life, I went through horrible, stressful events that caused weight to creep back up. And so then I have emotions that are attached to that weight. And no matter how much work we do on ourselves and how many love letters we write to ourselves and how much gratitude we have, the wounds are still there. The scar tissue is still there. And we can fall quickly into the same negative habits, self-talk that we had prior. And so the first episode that I gained another 20 pounds back as I was going through a horrible selling the family home, going through a divorce, trying to find enough work to provide for my three kids and my two dogs. And so, no, even though nothing changed in my eating, nothing changed in my walking, the stress in my body, the cortisol pumping through my body all the time caused me to gain 20 pounds. And I woke up and was like, I can't believe this. And it's not that I had a huge attachment to my physical form being a certain number, because it wasn't that. I just wanted to feel good in my skin. And as I was going through this horrible change in my life, I realized that I stopped being comfortable in my skin again. I noticed that my clothes fit tighter. And then, even though I had done at that time 10 years of beautiful self love work, I started to have those thoughts again. And so I had to unwind again. I had to deep deepen myself back into the practices that I had done 10 years prior to heal those emotions that were coming into my experience, into my life, into my heart, and causing a chronic level of stress in my body. Chronic stress in the body causes weight gain, especially for women. So got through that, found myself again, found myself loving myself again, worked through that. It took about 10 months and the weight fell off again. And I existed in this place for another 15 years until this last year. And I have gone through many surgeries in the last 8 years, nine of them, and I've never gained weight. It's never budged, even though my mobility is less. I'm not able to cook as healthy as I would like when I'm relying on other people. Um, and so I was a little bit shocked and stunned that this last 6 months, having had some surgery, I had 3 surgeries last year, 4 in 13 months, but 3 hip surgeries, that that 20 pounds has found itself to me again. And I'm looking at myself on a daily basis, and those same thoughts that were part of my life 25 years ago all the time are creeping in. I notice my clothes fit differently. And as they fit differently, no matter how much personal development I've done in my life, I have a tendency to fall back into, ugh, this is terrible. You're fat, you're a pig, you're not beautiful. And luckily I'm wiser, I'm older, I can catch myself, and I know that the cause of my weight is not necessarily anger or emotions, because I don't feel those things. I feel peaceful, I feel calm. I have a little bit of uncertainty and a little bit of fear because I don't know what's going to happen with my hip. I know what's going to happen, but we don't have a plan set. So I just want the date. When the date comes, I'll feel better. But I notice that my thoughts so easily slip back into that place of shame, even after 25 years of doing the work. So, what I've been doing to support my nervous system and to support my whole body. We think about this holistically. It's not just eating less. I bake all the time. You might follow me on social media and you see I bake all the time. I don't eat all the time. I bake all the time. I bake for other people. So I'm not eating the stuff I bake, which is probably a good thing. And I'm walking a lot with crutches. So my arms are strong, my core is strong. I'm getting outside. I'm doing all the right things. I'm doing all the things I've always done. But the stress in my body from all the surgeries has caused a chronic state of high cortisol. The high cortisol has caused a little bit of weight gain. And so when I can think about it logically and I can say, okay, it's not because I'm lazy, it's not because I'm eating crap, it's not because I'm full of hate, it's because my body is under a tremendous amount of stress. And the last time that weight creeped up, it was emotional stress. And this time it's physical stress. The pain that I'm in on a daily basis is so much that my body is at war with itself. It's fighting itself. It's a mess. And so ways that I have been incorporating some nervous system resets, because that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a quick fix. I know that it's going to take time. When I lost 80 pounds the first time, it took a long time, but it takes a long time to gain 80 pounds. You don't just wake up one day 80 pounds fatter, and you don't just wake up one day 80 pounds skinnier. It takes time. So I know that this journey of resetting my cortisol levels and resetting my body is going to take time. So, ways that I'm doing that is I'm spending my mornings with affirmations of health and well being, not weight loss, because I think our mind hears loss and it wants to go find it again. We lose keys, we lose envelopes, we lose things, and our brain says we've got to go find them. So I don't focus on the word weight loss. I focus on release. I focus on letting go. I focus on well being. So every day, 15 to 30 minutes of affirmations. I also have found that breath work, and being a yoga teacher, I know that pranayama or breath work is so critical. But in our lifestyle, we don't spend a lot of time mindfully breathing. So I've started to incorporate 3 to 5 minutes of purposeful breath. When our body is in stress, we tend to take shallow breaths. Especially I can tell when I'm in more pain, I breathe differently. So as I'm breathing differently, shorter, faster, not as full, that sends a signal fight or flight, fight or fight, flight or fight. And so I'm constantly in fight or flight. So the way I reset that is to tap into the place that is calm and peaceful and grounded. So 3 to 5 minutes a day of box breathing, um, kumbhaka breath, full breath, just counting to 8 and exhaling to 8, whatever breath work you like. And we can talk about this another time, the power of the breath. But I've been doing that more mindfully, 3 to 5 minutes a day. Affirmations, breath work. I am using essential oils that are designed to reset and calm the adrenal glands, which is where cortisol is produced. So things like basil, thyme, lavender, bergamot, things that are resetting, cooling, calming, supporting of the adrenals. So I'm using those every day, swiping them on the back of my back near my kidneys, and again on my thyroid because everything glandular is related. So I'm doing that. So breath work, affirmations, essential oils, circular movements. Now, here's where it really connected with me. When I was teaching adaptive yoga 5 days a week in assisted living, it's all seated. And because most of the people have neurological stuff, we do a lot of this, a lot of circular energy. We circle the body, which calms the nervous system. Any sort of rocking or circling calms the nervous system. Now, for the last year, I haven't been teaching, so I haven't been doing circles. I haven't been feeling that wave of resetting my nervous system. And so why did I let that go? Because we do that. We let go of things that are good for us. So I've started to incorporate circular movements. I'm not teaching yoga as much. So I'm not having the forward folds to demonstrate. I'm not doing that. And my body is not offering or allowing me to have a full yoga practice. So I've bailed on my yoga practice. I know better than that. I know better than to let go of breath work and circular work and a yoga practice. I know better. So it's a constant work, right? We are constantly working on ourselves. We can't drop our guard. And then the last thing that I'm doing on a daily basis is affirming to beautiful Stacie that she is worthy, she is good, she is beautiful, she's magnificent, she's smart, she's intuitive, she's an entrepreneur, she's creative, she's a go-getter, she's awesome. And I remind myself of those qualities. And that is going to reset my nervous system. It's going to tip the scale from fight or flight to rest and ease. And I have been in fight or flight for 14 months, and my body is becoming impacted by that fight or flight. So I know for myself that March is a time where I say, all right, we're done. I started my business in March. I lost all my weight in March. I left a relationship in March. Big changes are in March for me. And so I'm embodying that spirit of March. We're halfway through the month. And I've realized the last 2 weeks as I started out March with this renewal, that is my word of the year of like okay, we're in the season. We're clearing out the old stuff. We are get rid of the old stuff. And the old stuff for me is pulling out the last bit of twigs and trash and leaves in the garden in my heart and saying self love is a priority, peace and calm is a priority, talking kindly to myself is a priority, making sure I'm getting the movement that my body enjoys and loves and my nervous system loves, breathing intentionally, affirming my greatness every single day, and continue the good things that I am doing, attempting to walk, working out a couple times a week, eating more vegetables, drinking more water, trying not to drink as much coffee. All of those things holistically are going to come together, and the extra goodness that has packed onto my beautiful body in the last year, it'll go away. It'll go away because I know what to do. All right, that's my tip of the week. Love yourself, mindfully breathe, move in circles, rotate your body, breathe, trust yourself, reset yourself. You have the power to reset yourself. Let's do it together. All right, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.